Hey everyone, have you ever tossed a ball to a friend and just wondered, about the hidden physics that make it all work? Well, today we're going to break down the science of exactly how things move through the air.
It really all boils down to this one simple question. If you drop a ball, it just plummets straight down, right? But if you throw it, it sails through the air in this beautiful, perfect arc. On the surface, they seem like two totally different things, but you're about to see how they're actually two sides of the very same coin.
So, to really get a handle on that curve, we've got to start with the straight line. And that means we need to talk about the simplest kind of motion there is, free fall. Okay, so when a physicist talks about free fall, they mean something very specific. It's this perfect, idealized world where we just pretend air resistance doesn't exist. The only thing pulling on the object, the only force that matters, is gravity. That's it. And the hero of this whole story is this number, g. It's the acceleration from gravity, about 9.8 meters per second squared. The easiest way to think about it is like this. For every single second an object is falling, it gets faster by 9.8 meters per second. It's gravity's constant, relentless pull. Now, here's the part that can kind of mess with your brain a little bit. That acceleration from gravity, it has nothing to do with how heavy the object is. That means if we're ignoring air resistance, a feather and a bowling ball dropped from the same height, yep, they hit the ground at the exact same time. It's wild, but it's true. All right, enough with the theory. Let's make this a little more real. Imagine you're standing on a building that's about 80 meters high and you just drop a stone. No throwing, just letting it go. How long does it actually take to hit the ground? And the answer is just 4 seconds. That's it. In only 4 seconds, that constant pull of gravity takes the stone from a dead stop all the way to the ground. That's the power of G in action. Okay, so dropping things is pretty straightforward, but what happens when we decide to fight back against gravity? Just for a second. Let's see what happens when we add a new direction into the mix. So let's flip the script. Instead of dropping the ball, you throw it straight up, hard, with an initial speed of 20 meters per second. Now here's the trick. It's still in free fall. The second it leaves your hand, gravity is the only force acting on it again. But now its journey has two parts, an up and a down. The key thing to get here is that gravity never takes a break. It's always pulling down. So as the ball flies up, gravity is fighting it, slowing it down until, for one tiny instant at the very peak of its flight, it stops. Its velocity is 0. Then gravity wins and pulls it all the way back down. And the whole trip is perfectly symmetrical. The time it takes to go up is the exact same as the time it takes to come down. And this just shows you that symmetry perfectly. With that initial speed of 20 meters per second, it takes exactly 2 seconds for the ball to reach its highest point. And then, you guessed it, another 2 seconds to fall right back down to where it started. A perfect 4-second round trip. So we've done straight down and we've done straight up. Now it's time to put them together. This is where we find the secret to that beautiful arc we talked about at the very beginning. And this, my friends, is projectile motion. Anytime you throw a football or launch a firework or hit a golf ball, it becomes a projectile. And that perfect curve it follows through the air, that has a name. It's a parabola. And just like before, for our purposes, we're assuming gravity is the only thing in charge. Okay, if you get one thing from this whole explainer, let this be it. This is the secret sauce. A projectile's motion is actually two completely independent stories happening at the same time. Think of it like this. Horizontally, sideways, the object is just coasting along at a steady speed. But vertically, up and down, it's in pure free fall, being pulled down by gravity just like the rock we dropped. So when you launch something at an angle, that initial speed gets split up. It's like it has two jobs. The horizontal part is in charge of covering distance, just moving sideways. The vertical part is the one that has to fight gravity, determining how high the object goes and how long it can stay in the air. And because we can treat these two motions separately, we can predict pretty much everything about the object's flight. We can basically decode the parabola. So, what can we figure out? Well, we can now answer the 3 big questions. First, how long is the thing actually in the air? That's its time of flight. Second, what's the highest point it reaches? That's its maximum height. And finally, how far away does it land? Well, that's the horizontal range. And this brings us to a classic question, one that athletes and generals have obsessed over for centuries. If you want to throw something as far as humanly possible, what is the absolute best angle to launch it at? And the magic number is 45 degrees. A perfect 45-degree angle gives you the absolute best balance between the vertical motion, which keeps it in the air longer, and the horizontal motion, which makes it cover ground. It is the sweet spot for maximum distance. So, let's bring it all home. We're going to put these two types of motion side by side so we can make the connection absolutely crystal clear.
Okay, look at this. Free fall is a one-dimensional, straight line story, up or down, that's it. Projectile motion is a two-dimensional story, which creates that curve. But here's the kicker, look at that last row. The vertical motion for both is exactly the same. So the big secret, a projectile is just an object in free fall that also happens to be moving sideways.
Seriously, if you remember one phrase from all of this, let it be this one. The horizontal and vertical motions are independent. They live in their own little worlds. The sideways coasting doesn't affect the falling, and the falling doesn't affect the sideways coasting at all. And that brings us right back to our original question. That dropped ball and that thrown ball, they are both being pulled down by the exact same force of gravity, in the exact same way. The only reason one makes that graceful arc is because we gave it a little sideways push at the beginning, a push that gravity just doesn't care about. You know, the laws of physics are predictable. They set the path. But that initial push, the speed, the angle, that's all on you. The launch is always your choice. So the only question left is, what will you set in motion?